Hey Bears fans, DeWitt and Nicholas Moreano here for CHGO, and we are making the case for some prospects heading into the 2023 NFL Draft for the Chicago Bears. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any of our Bears offseason content. But all right, let's go ahead and let's make the case for Keion White, the edge defender out of Georgia Tech. He had 54 tackles, 14 for loss, and 7.5 sacks last season. He's 53rd on PFF's Top 150 and 46th on Mock Draft Database. Nick, there's a lot to like about this guy, but I'm curious, what stands out to you the most?
Yeah, the first thing that stands out about Keion White is the twitchiness that he shows on the get-off. And at 6'5", 286, again, he's able to show that athleticism at the position, and you see that in his first step. That's why he's able to get around some of these offensive tackles, and he showed that consistently, too, at the Senior Bowl. Didn't matter what offensive tackle it was, Keion White was able to show that explosiveness off the line of scrimmage, so that really stood out to me.
What stands out to me is that red-hot motor that this kid plays with. He is just 100% all of the time, and he is someone that I feel like can fit within the Bears' philosophies on defense. He was a two-way player in high school. He was voted team captain, by the way, this past year, so that shows some leadership. You mentioned the athleticism. I'm going to also tap into some of his versatility. He can be a stand-up rusher. He could be a hand-in-the-dirt guy. Hell, I've seen him bump in and play inside and become an interior pocket disruptor. He can really make life hell for a bunch of different offensive linemen doing a lot of different things.
And there were times, too, at Georgia Tech where Keion White has to tackle out in space, and he showed consistency doing that as well, where there are screen passes out in the flat or even just quick passes out that way. Keion White's going out there, and he's finding his landmark, finding where he needs to, where the ball carrier is going to be, and making tackles out there. So obviously it's a guy that can get upfield and get to the quarterback, but even when it's along the perimeter, Keion White's making plays.
Now let's get into some potential concerns. One I have, and it's not a large concern for his NFL career, but it's more about his ability to make an immediate impact. It's the fact that he's still a bit raw to the position. He transitioned from tight end to defensive end in 2019, and the Bears do already have a player in Dominique Robinson who's newer to the position that has a lot of those raw intangibles right now that they're trying to coach up. So I do wonder if it makes sense to have two guys in the same kind of boat right now.
And I think, too, what Keion White, especially what he was showing at the Senior Bowl, he wanted to win with speed early on. And if that didn't work out, and there were times where it didn't, it's what can he go to after that? So that's going to be the big thing for Keion White, is really the counter moves. Yes, obviously he has that speed and he can go to it in his back pocket, but to work at the NFL, to be consistent with it, and like a lot of these edge rushers, what's that second move they can go to? So once Keion White starts developing and starts practicing those kind of secondary moves, that's where he's going to get real dangerous. But he likes to go to speed right now, which isn't too big of a problem, but he needs to develop something else.
All right, why does White make sense for the Bears? Well, obviously you get a very high upside player that can develop into a top quality defensive end, and as I mentioned, can also bounce inside. And I've noticed last year that the Bears did like to move their defensive ends inside to kind of get like a pure speed rush kind of package in place. And of course, that red hot motor is something that you can't coach, you can't teach, but when you have it, you can really tap into it and unleash a lot of the stuff against the offenses.
And then, at 6'5", 286, he is that prototypical defensive end that I think Eberflus, Allen Williams would like to have in this defense. He can play the run. He has a capability of rushing the passer. So it's, again, like you said, the high upside guy. So once he starts to put everything together as a defensive end, he's going to be a dangerous player.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this Making the Case video. Again, make sure to subscribe to this channel. That way you don't miss any of our Bears content all off season long. But we'll be back with another prospect here very shortly.